The reason I called it 24 karat gold is because they're like these are the golden songs. Some of them were recorded by Fleetwood Mac, and I wasn't crazy about the arrangement, so I pulled them.
Devastating new details about Stevie Nicks have recently come to light, leaving fans heartbroken. Her long and complicated relationship with Lindsey Buckingham played a major role in shaping both their lives and their music careers.
Our first guest is the undisputed queen bee of rock and roll, whether as part of a rock supergroup or as an acclaimed solo artist. She has topped charts, toured the world, and started both a musical and style trend.
What really happened behind the scenes of their split in 2018? Come with us to uncover the sad truth Lindsey Buckingham has finally revealed that will shock your world. How a simple meeting changed rock. In a high school in Palo Alto during the late 60s, a significant yet quiet meeting was set to transform the world of rock music. Two high school students, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, met for the first time, both filled with big dreams and raw talent that would soon take the music world by storm. They had no clue about the emotional roller coaster ahead, a path filled with amazing successes and deep emotional challenges. But little did they know, one fateful decision years later would shatter everything they had built. Something will reveal soon that changed their lives forever. Lindsey, a skilled guitarist known for his charming smile, was already getting attention in the local music scene with his band, Fritz.
I'm wondering if you're actually in my ear monitors, but I don't think you are, so I'll undo them.
The first time he saw Stevie, her bright blonde hair and almost magical presence completely captivated him. Her voice, deep and full of soul, seemed to be just what his band needed. With a mix of excitement and caution, he invited her to join as their lead singer. Their on-stage chemistry was obvious. Their vocal harmonies electrified the audience, leaving people captivated and eager for more. However, off-stage they were just friends, each involved in their own romantic endeavors, unaware of the deeper bond forming between them. The early 70s brought big changes. Fritz broke up, but for Stevie and Lindsey, it was just the beginning of something bigger. Driven by their shared dreams, they decided to leave their hometown for Los Angeles, aiming to make a big impact in the music industry. This bold move would soon transform their friendship into a romantic relationship. Their plan to move to LA came with its own set of challenges. Lindsey caught mononucleosis, which delayed their plans by a year. During this difficult time, Stevie's caring nature was evident as she took care of Lindsey. This tough period brought them closer together, laying the foundation for their relationship. In 1972, they finally made it to Los Angeles, filled with hope and excitement.
She's a great cook anyway, before she even went home. So she just called and said, what would you think if I decided to come back to the band? And I said, Chris, it's your band.
They were no longer just friends or bandmates. They became Buckingham Nicks, partners in both life and music. They put their hearts into their debut album, which showcased their combined talents. However, the harsh realities of the music industry soon hit them. Their album did not succeed, and their record label dropped them. Despite these challenges, they didn't give up. Lindsey worked as a session guitarist and Stevie as a waitress. Their commitment to each other grew during these hard times. They adopted a simple bohemian lifestyle, which later inspired one of their most beloved songs, Gypsy. As they navigated the highs and lows of life in LA, a stroke of luck came their way. In 1974, Mick Fleetwood, the drummer for Fleetwood Mac, was looking for new talent. He was impressed by the unique sound of Buckingham Nicks, and particularly by Lindsey's guitar skills. He wanted Lindsey for the band, but Lindsey insisted they were a package deal. Either both joined or neither did. This stance led to a fortunate twist in rock history. A dinner was arranged to see how well they fit with Fleetwood Mac. The connection was immediate, especially between Stevie and Christine McVie. Without playing a single note, Stevie and Lindsey were invited to join Fleetwood Mac, catapulting them from obscurity to global fame. From high school acquaintances to rock legends, Stevie and Lindsey were about to embark on an unexpected path. Little did they know, Fleetwood Mac would forever change their lives. How did their inclusion in Fleetwood Mac transform Stevie and Lindsey's personal and professional lives? Let's explore further. In a dim rehearsal space in 1974, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham stood before Fleetwood Mac at a moment that would redefine their destinies, elevating them from struggling musicians to icons of rock. The room, filled with cigarette smoke and potential, buzzed with anxious energy. Mick Fleetwood, the towering, formidable drummer, accidentally discovered the album Buckingham Nicks. Enthralled by Lindsey's innovative guitar playing, he initially wanted just Lindsey for the band. But Lindsey, fiercely loyal to Stevie, declared they were a package deal. Either they both joined or neither did. This decision, rooted in love and artistic harmony, would dramatically shape the future of rock music. Their choice to join Fleetwood Mac was just the start. Soon they would face fame, pressure, and a growing distance that would test their bond. The moment that changed Fleetwood Mac. As soon as Stevie and Lindsey began performing, an incredible magic filled the room. Their voices blended perfectly, creating harmonies that gave everyone goosebumps. Christine McVie, the band's skilled keyboardist, felt an instant connection with Stevie. It was as though the final pieces of a complex problem had snapped into place. The band made their decision quickly, relying on their instincts, an undeniable recognition of talent that demanded their attention. For Stevie and Lindsey, this was a critical lifeline. They had been struggling to make ends meet in Los Angeles, and now they were on the brink of stardom. This leap wasn't just a professional breakthrough, it was deeply personal. Stevie and Lindsey's relationship, already tested by years of difficulty, would now face the intense pressures of fame. They moved back in together, determined to make both their romance and careers successful. As they started recording with Fleetwood Mac, the band's sound began to evolve in unexpected ways. Lindsey's creative guitar techniques and ideas for production melded seamlessly with the group's established style, while Stevie's unique voice and mystical lyrics injected new energy into their music. Songs like Rhiannon and Landslide started to take shape, signaling the immense success that was to come. They began touring, initially performing to small crowds. However, as word spread about the electrifying new lineup, their concerts started to draw larger audiences. Stevie, with her flowing dresses and otherworldly stage presence, quickly became a focal point for fans. Her haunting vocals and captivating performances left audiences spellbound, while Lindsey's masterful guitar solos kept them riveted. With increasing fame came growing pressures. The relentless touring, constant media attention, and temptations of the rock and roll lifestyle began to wear on Stevie and Lindsey's relationship. The very success they had worked so hard for now threatened to tear them apart. Even amid their personal struggles, their collaboration in music remained strong. Inside the studio, they inspired one another, crafting songs that would shape a whole era. The tension between them didn't break their creative flow. Instead, it added a raw, passionate depth to their music.
What I would like to say is that this speech thing that I'm supposed to give now has been following me down till the sound of its voice will haunt me for the last 2 weeks.
Their dedication led to the release of Fleetwood Mac's self-titled album in 1975. It was a resounding success, displaying a fresh direction for the band and the undeniable connection among its members. Songs like Rhiannon and Landslide soared up the charts, establishing Fleetwood Mac's position in the annals of rock history. As the album gained traction, so did the band's fame. They found themselves in a whirlwind of packed concerts, media interviews, and adoring fans. For Stevie and Lindsey, this was the realization of a dream, but it also brought a complicated reality. The fame they had sought now highlighted every imperfection in their relationship. The demanding tour schedule tested their endurance. Days merged into nights, and the succession of cities turned into a vague backdrop for their performances. On stage, the chemistry between Stevie and Lindsey was palpable, energizing the audience night after night. However, off-stage, their connection was gradually weakening. As the album topped the charts, the band faced the immense challenge of replicating their success. The pressure was intense, and it began to strain their personal connections. What was once a magical romance between Stevie and Lindsey was now barely holding together. As Fleetwood Mac reached new heights, the weight of fame started to show. Behind the scenes, their personal relationships were deteriorating, paving the way for their next, most iconic and emotionally charged album yet. It was 1976, and Fleetwood Mac was on the verge of creating Rumors, an album destined to become legendary. However, behind the scenes, the band was falling apart, ensnared in a web of personal and professional chaos. Their previous album's massive success had catapulted them into the spotlight, but the pressures of fame began to fracture their relationships. Stevie and Lindsey, once a couple bound by love and music, were drifting apart. The relentless touring, the temptations of the rock and roll lifestyle, and their own personal ambitions were driving a wedge between them. As tensions grew, their relationships started to break. But instead of giving up, they turned their pain into one of the greatest albums ever, when heartbreak created hits. While working on Rumors, they encountered an ironic twist. Their personal lives were in disarray, yet their creative energies were at their peak. The heartache, anger, and disillusionment they were experiencing became the fuel for some of rock's most iconic songs. Lindsey channeled his frustration into Go Your Own Way, a straightforward, harsh song that openly expressed the pain of their breakup. Singing in the studio, with Stevie just a few feet away, the air was thick with tension, but the music they were producing was incredibly powerful. Stevie, never one to hold back her feelings, countered with the haunting Dreams. Her ethereal voice and poignant lyrics, particularly the lines, "Thunder only happens when it's raining," reflected their fading love and newfound independence. This track would go on to become Fleetwood Mac's only #1 single in the US. The rest of the band was also caught in personal turmoil. Christine and John McVie were going through a divorce, and Mick Fleetwood was dealing with his own marital issues. The studio turned into a pressure cooker of emotions, with each session threatening to spill over into conflict. Yet despite everything, they pushed forward. The music they were crafting was too important to be overshadowed by their personal issues. They managed to compartmentalize their emotions, channeling all the pain and frustration into their work. The result was a collection of songs that were brutally honest, deeply emotional, and musically brilliant. As their personal lives and their art became intertwined, songs like The Chain began to form, reflecting the complex relationships within the band. Despite their differences, they were bound by the music, unable to separate even if they wanted to.
Stevie and I, although not quite as well defined, were estranged, we're not living together.
Creating Rumors was a cathartic process for the band. It gave them a way to express emotions that were too complex for everyday conversations. Stevie's Silver Springs, a heartfelt song about her relationship with Lindsey, was so emotionally charged that it was initially left off the album, only to become a fan favorite years later. Throughout the recording process, Stevie and Lindsey's interactions were a delicate balance of creativity and conflict. Despite the fractures in their personal connection, their musical collaboration continued to produce magical results. Their voices still blended perfectly, and their artistic chemistry was undeniable. The album took nearly a year to complete, with each song carefully crafted amidst the chaos of their personal lives. As they wrapped up Rumors, there was a collective feeling that they had created something extraordinary. The hardship and heartache they had endured had been transformed into an album that would resonate with millions. When Rumors was released in February 1977, it became an instant hit. The album's raw honesty and musical brilliance struck a chord with listeners worldwide. Tracks like Don't Stop, Go Your Own Way, and Dreams became anthems, with fans dissecting the lyrics to understand the band's tangled relationships. However, the success of Rumors was bittersweet for Stevie and Lindsey. As the album climbed the charts and accolades poured in, they were forced to relive their breakup night after night on stage. Each performance of Go Your Own Way was an emotional battleground, with Lindsey's pointed lyrics and Stevie's defiant presence creating an electrifying tension that captivated audiences.
My soulmate late in life and got married and had my first child when I was 48 and have 3 beautiful children, and that was something
Despite the personal cost, Rumors cemented Fleetwood Mac's place in rock history. The album would go on to sell over 40 million copies worldwide, standing as a testament to how pain could be transformed into art and how beauty could emerge from chaos. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks ended their romance, but started a lifelong partnership in music with the album Rumors. They continued to collaborate, drawing from their shared past to enhance their performances. This album proved crucial in their careers, demonstrating their ability to work together despite their rocky relationship. Fleetwood Mac, known for iconic rock anthems, faced its fair share of internal drama. However, in 2018, the band went through a major shock that surprised both the music industry and fans. Lindsey Buckingham, a key guitarist and creative force in the band, was suddenly fired, creating a huge stir in the rock scene. Just when they seemed to reach the top, an unexpected split would shake the band, leaving their future and friendships uncertain. The day Lindsey was kicked out. At a high point in their career, Fleetwood Mac was getting ready for a much-anticipated tour across North America. Ticket sales were booming, and there was a buzz of excitement, but a big storm was brewing behind the scenes. Without any prior notice, the band decided to go on with the tour without Buckingham, a decision that surprised everyone, including Buckingham. This move was like a thunderbolt. Buckingham, whose guitar playing and songwriting had shaped the band's signature sound since the 70s, found himself unexpectedly kicked out of the group he had played a huge part in popularizing. The reasons for his departure were not clear at first, leading to a lot of guessing about what might have caused such a dramatic split. Buckingham didn't just sit back, he took action. He sued his former bandmates for breaking their duty to him, violating verbal agreements, and intentionally harming his future earnings. The focus of this legal battle was the tour, which Buckingham said he was wrongly excluded from, causing him to lose millions. As the lawsuit went on, Buckingham didn't only fight in court, he also took his story public. In various interviews, he talked about the dynamics within one of rock's most famous bands. He described feelings of betrayal and disappointment, not just about his firing, but about how poorly the situation was handled by his former band members. Buckingham pointed to Stevie Nicks, his ex-lover and longtime musical partner, as the main reason for his firing. He claimed she had given the band an ultimatum, him or her. This claim added another layer to the already complex relationships within Fleetwood Mac, suggesting deep-seated tensions that had been brewing for years. The band mostly stayed quiet, only releasing statements that tried to keep a professional appearance. Their lack of comments led to more speculation, leaving fans curious about the real reasons behind Buckingham's departure.
Sometimes she might find it difficult that I was lucky enough to find.
Eventually, the dispute was settled outside of court, but the emotional impact remained, creating a noticeable gap in Fleetwood Mac that both the group and their fans deeply felt. While the band continued to tour with new members, the absence of Buckingham's distinctive guitar and vocals was clearly missed, marking what many considered the end of an era. In a surprising twist, Stevie Nicks broke her silence in September 2021, sharing her side of why Buckingham was fired. She said the problem was about the tour's timing. Buckingham had wanted to delay it to focus on his solo projects, which Nicks didn't agree with, insisting on sticking to the planned dates. The final straw, according to Nicks, came during a Music Cares event where she felt Buckingham acted disrespectfully during her speech. His behavior, which she saw as smirking and dismissive, forced her to decide on their professional relationship. Nicks emphasized that she didn't orchestrate his firing, but needed to remove herself from what she considered a toxic environment, highlighting the importance of keeping personal boundaries in the demanding world of music. The roller coaster relationship between Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks has fascinated rock fans like few other stories. Their passionate romance, creative synergy, and eventual split inspired some of Fleetwood Mac's most memorable songs, turning their personal drama into a legendary narrative in music history. As time goes by, one question remains. What happens when the music stops, but the emotions linger? In an interview that sparked new interest in their shared history, Buckingham hinted that Nicks might still have feelings for him.
I just signed a new solo record deal, so yes, I was thinking about it, but as soon as I found out that we were really going to do this, I can't really do both at all. So, and it's, it's way more cool to just...
This admission, mixed with nostalgia and curiosity, brought renewed attention to one of rock's most enduring stories. Through his words, Buckingham depicted a relationship that, despite its end, remains captured in time by the music that chronicled its rise and fall. Reflecting on his past feelings for Nicks, Buckingham shared insights into a time when their bond was still strong, even after their romantic relationship ended. His revelations provided a rare look into the complex emotional world both musicians navigated throughout their careers. Buckingham's speculation about Nick's possible lingering feelings added an intriguing aspect to their already intricate history. Central to Buckingham's reflections was the creation of Rumors, Fleetwood Mac's masterpiece, and a poignant record of the band's internal strife. He suggested that the unique circumstances of the album's production might have hindered their ability to fully deal with their breakup. The studio became a cauldron for their unresolved emotions, with each track capturing the complex feelings they struggled to articulate. Was Lindsey Buckingham's departure from Fleetwood Mac really just a band decision, or is there a deeper story about his relationship with Stevie Nicks that the public still doesn't know? Could this revelation change how we see the band's history forever? Tell us what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.